My name is Matt Looney, and I'm involved in a prison ministry called Kairos. I don't have time to really explain the whole ministry, but the main events are 2 weekends, 2 3-day weekends, one in the fall, one in the spring, where we lead 42 inmates through a short course in Christianity. Now, it's so much more than that. The Kairos motto is listen, listen, love, love. And I think that's it. Most of these guys have been preached to. A lot less of them have been listened to, and far fewer have been loved. One of my favorite stories is a story about a guy I'll call Cowboy. Cowboy's been in lockup since 1974. Obviously, he's an older guy, and he's a real loner. In fact, a lot of the guys on the inside, after a while, become real loners. And Cowboy was at my table during one of these 3-day weekends. And one of the things that happens on the Saturday of the weekend is we get an opportunity as a very small group to go off into a prayer chapel. And we simply pray for one another. And it's a real powerful experience. A lot of these guys have never been prayed for. But what was obvious as we approached this prayer chapel is that Cowboy did not want to go in. So I encouraged him. I said, why don't you think about coming in? I said, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. You don't even have to let us pray for you. You can just sit in the back and just watch. And he did. He came in, he sat in the back, and he just watched. And when it was over, he went back to the conference room, went back to himself. But you could see he was really, really struggling. Well, later that afternoon, there was a talk that was being given. A guy was telling a story about a former inmate that he had been helping out and how this inmate had stolen his car. And then he has this funny line. He says, I really wasn't mad about the car until I found out he'd smoked in my Buick. And most of us kind of chuckled a little, but not Cowboy. He started laughing. And I don't mean just laughing. I mean, the guy was just belly laughing. It was like something in him just burst. When he stopped laughing, the talk was about to end. And I turned to him and I said, are you ready to pray now? And he said he was. And so we got up and we went to that prayer chapel. And this guy kneels down at the foot of a cross for the first time in his life. And I put my hand on him and knelt beside him and I asked, what do you want? And he said, I don't want to be alone anymore. We prayed, we cried, and it was a beautiful thing. And then the next day on Sundays, one of the things that happens is all the inmates get a birthday cake with their name on it. And for a lot of them, the first time they've ever had a birthday cake. But when Cowboy was getting this cake, one of the other inmates, he said, Cowboy, so when's your birthday? And he said, yesterday. Beauty in the midst of such darkness. Freedom, hope in the middle of incarceration. What is God teaching me through Kairos? First, that things like freedom, beauty, joy, love, these things happen wherever people have their minds, hearts, eyes open to the reality of God. The second thing God is teaching me through Kairos, that if you will go to where the brokenness of the world is the most obvious, the good news is really good news. The third thing, listen, listen, love, love. And last, that it doesn't matter where you've been, it doesn't matter what you've done. Everyone needs to experience the love and the affection of God. Everyone. Shalom.